And the reason why I get bothered when we overuse the race card, right? Because race problems need way more of our attention that they get.
Sure.
But a lot of times we pick and choose the wrong race problem to be the problem that gets the people who don't care about race to care. Not to say that it's not a problem that deserves attention. But then when you add all the other damn, what's that word I'm looking for? All the other different things that could change your mind. It's like, oh, well, this person has a criminal record. Oh, well, he does this. Oh, well, his pants were hanging off of his ass. He was not a model. Yeah. None of that shit matters because this person was treated wrong and none of this stuff had anything to do with it. And we shouldn't care about that. But to ask someone who is ignorant to our plight, to our people, to open up their mind to something they can't relate to, they should be able to, but it's hard.
I guess, okay, so you're talking to somebody who self-identifies as a race scholar. So personally, I would say that everything goes back to race in this country. So you like overplaying the race card, I guess I would like an example of like what you mean by that.
Oh my God. I'm trying to think of something off the top of my head because a lot of the stuff that I see is a lot of stuff that I see, I don't see it as overplaying the race card, but I'm also speaking to the minds of people who don't necessarily think the way that we think. Like
I guess that's fine, but
you brought up George Floyd earlier, right?
Yeah.
And you know how some people will say, well, George Floyd did this in his life. George Floyd was high.
They're basically saying he's deserving of his death, is essentially what they're saying. Yes.
And when people look for all these other things that have something to do with this person, I go, all of that can be true, but none of that means death should have happened. And I'm not saying George Floyd isn't the one that we should, no, like that was just wrong is wrong is wrong. And I mean, even if you look at Breonna Taylor, I think the Breonna Taylor thing is a bit more nuanced than the conversation is, because do I defend the cops for like just shooting into the house without any regard? No. Do I think their procedures were wrong? Absolutely. But do I understand fire being returned once there's fire coming from the house? Yes. And I think that some of the nuance of that conversation gets missed in the big race conversation against police and police brutality, because yes, police brutality exists. It's there. It's a problem. It's a terrible problem. And there was police brutality involved in this particular case. But once boyfriend shoots out, whatever comes back in hits a little bit different for me personally, because it goes, nah, nigga, I understand why you shot. You got random motherfuckers at your goddamn door, and you know who you know the life that you're living, or the people that you could know why you would shoot out at somebody being at your door who's not announcing themselves. But
I guess my thing with that is like they shouldn't have even been there. So the only reason why, like, we don't even have to get into the nuance of that conversation, because y'all shouldn't have even been at the door. That's where the conversation ends for me. Why were you even at the wrong house? Not to mention y'all didn't even have a warrant. So I'm confusion. I don't like. Did y'all think just because this is a black neighborhood, which is still going back to race, that you could just do whatever you wanted to do and it would be fine? Oh, because I'm not at the nuance, because we shouldn't have even been there in the first place, I guess.
And that's the hard part of that specific conversation to have, because it's like there's part of me that goes, yeah, bro, this shit should never happen. End of story. And there's another part of me that goes, excuse me, well, this happened. So there is a conversation that exists around what happened. How do we frame that conversation properly? And there's not a right way to frame that conversation because I've had it multiple times with different groups of people, and it's.
But I feel like it's only like, what were they gonna like? Honestly, like, what did you expect though, police officers? You were gonna walk up into somebody's home, not announce yourself, bust through their whole door at night. What did you think was gonna happen? I'm confused again. Like, where was this going?